Alright guys, I decided a little bit of a different change in this video. I'm actually going to be on screen with y'all this time instead of just walking through pointing. My wife's going to be recording. I'm still going to be walking through pointing, but you'll still see with me this time. She did point out to me in the last video that we had not yet gotten my computer. We only had hers over here and we're just using this as a regular table. So we did get the second game system set up so we can both game together from the couch, hence our Wow from the Couch series. We also put a little area under the table here with Joseph's computer and some pillows, which we're going to improve with the little seating area and shelf and everything later. That way he can come up here and watch his shows and everything without having to worry about being so super quiet when brother's napping in the back there. If you see the orange up top here, that is the silencing underfloor insulation that we contact glued up to the ceiling. Yes, there are still a lot of waves and ripples and ridges and everything in it, but those will get cut smooth before we go over a headliner. We're going to finish putting more in all the gaps and areas, and everything's going to get covered up with this before headliners go on it. Probably a thick velvet in the living room and bedroom, while going with some type of a vinyl or leather in the kitchen and bathroom. That way it's easier to clean and don't have to worry about the moisture issues. We're still using the wooden chair in between these two tables for now, just because we have not found better fold-up chairs or gotten any more framework done up yet. But it works good as a guest seating area, keeping our extra pillows and blankets and all of our jackets hung up behind. I'm sure if y'all have followed any of our videos here as well, y'all have probably seen the bed box building video of our sofa here. We built the box as a storage area and solid to be both the bed and sofa for us, with a twin XL mattress on top. That's just a blanket over it, a normal fitted sheet on it. The booth backing from my brother-in-law, who works for an undisclosed restaurant. They changed out their booth backs and he gave us one of them for the backing. All of that does come off and it makes a full twin size bed, so it will be great for when Joseph gets older and he's ready for his own big boy bed, or any company that comes over and needs a place to stay. I don't know if we had in the last video or not, so I'll go ahead and point out to y'all, we did pick up 2 good hurricane fans that I hung one on each end of the bus, one up front where we had our poor little dilapidated oscillating fan, and one in the very back over our bedroom by the second air conditioner we wound up putting into the bus, which again I don't know was in the last video, which is why we're going through a lot of stuff that we've gone through before, just to make sure we cover it all. If you can see from there behind me, or as we move in, we did get rid of the mini fridge. We shortened up the counter, since we didn't have the counter space with the mini fridge on it anyways, to put a full-size refrigerator and freezer in, just because we're getting to be a full-size family, so we need a lot more food for us out here without having to run back and forth into the house. I did put a shelf above each of the counters on each side, and we decided to move our cooking area to the same side as the fridge, rather than this being our prep area and trying to fit all of our cooking on the side of the sink. It does give us a little bit more counter space with it this way, but it does help keep all of the food and dishes and everything a bit better sorted and better organized together. We are working on getting containers such as the cereal box, the plastic cereal containers and everything, just to help keep the food storage a little safer and organized. Not to mention bugs do enjoy cardboard, so mobile living, you're going to be out and about around a lot of bugs. You want to make sure and do as little cardboard and paper as possible. Try and go with more plastic or glass, wood, things of that nature. They don't attract all of the pests that you like to try and keep away. Since I cut the counter out over on this side to put the fridge in, I just simply took the doors from this side and put them under where our sink box is, so we have a locking spot for our chemicals under the sink now. And I'm still kind of debating on whether I want to take my original wooden box sink out and add the normal sink in, or if I want to just build up a framework where this sink can just sit over it and still give us the option of pulling the sink out to use the wooden box as the kids' bathtub as well. So still a bit of plans in the works. This one is just set on top of it for right now. I know we've shown before about the filter for the water system in here. We do have the flowing running water in the bus. You've probably seen also hanging right here on the wall as you enter the kitchen, we picked up a nice little Dyson cordless vacuum, and that thing is well worth the investment. It takes just a couple of minutes to vacuum through the whole bus, and that little thing is so powerful, it embarrassed me how much dirt it pulled out of this simple little area rug in our living room. You wouldn't think, small space, small rug. I pulled over a quart of dirt out of it, thanks to that little guy. So it is well worth the investment on it, especially if you have allergies or just like to stay that clean. I believe we had Joshua's crib finished up in the last video, but just a quick run through. It is a simple one-handed operation gate. If you see right here, it does have a latch on the back side, and it does have screws on this end. The screws on this end, once you slide it in, keep it from lifting up or sliding too far over. Once you set it in place, the latch on this end makes it safe, secure, and out of our 3-year-old's reach, so he can't come up here on his own and try and get into brother's bed.
Oh, but if he could, he would.
Definitely. We do have the drawer up underneath with all of Joshua and Joseph's clothes, sorted by side. And we picked up the mattress for Joseph's bunk up under here. As you can see on the front of the steps in the drawer and up in his bed, my wife did pick up the alphabet banners so he can work on some of his homeschooling and everything with us. Start learning his letters and everything. I'm going to be kind of in the way here, but for most everybody that's seen all of the other videos, y'all know we have the space up under our bed, which originally was going to be built as a kennel area for our dogs who have both passed since we've done this. And instead, our 3-year-old decided he enjoys playing up under there. So we have all back by the back door a big play area for him to lay on, his toy boxes and everything. And as we said, it is for a 3-year-old, so excuse the mess. He has his fun under there in his area too. As you can see back here behind the bed is the other hurricane fan over it. That is my spot up under it, so I will give you the warning. Make sure you remember you put a fan there and don't try to sit up quick in the middle of the night. You will make sure you are wide awake by the time that happens. But we have our AC back there as well. Most of the windows in the bus are going to wind up getting traded out with plywood that's going to be very well primed, very well sealed, and it's going to get the insulation on the inside just like the roof and the walls of the bus are getting. It's going to get the cool seal on the outside like the outside of the bus is going to be getting, and hopefully getting rid of just the thin single pane glass windows will help with a lot of our insulation issues here. Because anybody that knows anything about temperature control, if it's a metal structure, you're going to have a hard time keeping it warm or cold in the summer or winter, or vice versa, flip those. Hard to keep it cool in the summer, hard to keep it warm in the winter, perfect during the fall or spring. We do have our toilet right here, as everybody has seen in earlier videos, our RV toilet that does flush. We have it officially hooked up to a sewer line at the house, ran just so we can connect the bus over here for while we are here. And we did put the shelves up above what was originally going to be a storage and towel box in the bathroom area that turned into our laundry hamper in the bottom. Just all of our dirty clothes go in there with one of the spring-loaded cylinder hampers from Walmart. You set that in there when it's empty, and you can pile your dirty clothes right on top of it. When it comes time to need to bring it to the wash to do laundry, go ahead, pull the basket out, it pops open, there's a full laundry basket that you don't have to worry about finding a space for later.
And that laundry basket also holds 2.5 loads of laundry, so you can fit a lot in it without busting any seams or anything like that. So do realize that when you buy one, they hold a lot more than they look.
There were 2 sizes on the shelf over there, so I did go with the slightly larger size, which I'm thankful for because our 3-year-old loves to use it as a toy as well. And yes, it'll hold up to 2.5 loads of laundry, or a 3-year-old, and it is yet to rip. So I'd say that's a win in our book.
Mm-hmm.
But we do have the other shelves up here with it for all of our toiletries, medicines, hygiene products, and everything, with the lamp and light switch put on right here by it as well.
I personally love this lamp and light switch. It's you don't see it, so it's behind here. There's the switch, but our 3-year-old can easily reach it. He loves working it, and he's extremely responsible with it. So it's really nice to be able to have that there for easy access for him.
It will wind up getting improved later on, but for right now, I just cannibalized a broken lamp, took parts out of it, put some simple little sheetrock screws to hold it in place. It's nothing but a wire hanger and some old underwear cut to fit for the curtain.
Don't worry, they were washed.
Yes, they were clean underwear. Makes a very big difference if you're going to make curtains out of them. You don't want the lingering aroma from a dirty pair. And if you saw the screws when she pointed the camera to the switch over here, I simply took those sheetrock screws and put them around just to hold the switch that was on the lamp itself in place. 2 screws on top, 2 screws on bottom, wire tied around the post right here and plugged over into the surge protector. Easy operation, something simple. It doesn't take anything fancy to start this off. It takes just getting things set up, seeing how they work for you and your family, and moving on, either improving on it if it does work or scrapping it if it doesn't. So if it gets in the way, if it's an obstacle, find a way to either live without it or find a way to give it a better spot. Because if you are doing tiny living, you need to have as much empty space in at least your walkways as possible. If you clutter your walkways, it will drive you nuts, especially if you're a clean freak such as my wife.
Yes.
But make sure and give yourself enough open space that you don't wind up making yourself feel claustrophobic in it. Most of the videos and series you see out there, when someone is wanting to go into tiny living and someone has been doing the tiny living, either living in it themselves or building new ones or whatever the case may be, one of the first things they tell you is make sure you can shrink down everything to enough space to get rid of all the extra. Now, thankfully, we've had about 2 years worth of getting rid of extra, and even time before then, before we started the tiny living. But in this time, we have had to weed through a lot of our stuff and realize just how much of it was actually unnecessary. And the more we got rid of, the more we opened it up, the more this got set up feeling like a home, the better we felt about it, just being able to let go of all the extra. But there's another thing to keep in mind as well. So hopefully soon we'll be able to get some more work done to it, and I will do better as far as not waiting so long.